as high on his Steelers as he was last week.
I know. I was going to say he come crashing down. That Steelers, and Big Ben, Chris, was okay. You know, I'm not going to make him out to be the scapegoat. He was okay. I don't know. They got
no running game. The reason I picked the
running
Raiders,
game is zero.
Right.
Zero.
And the reason I picked the Raiders in that game, Rob,
I was shocked.
And I thought Pittsburgh might win, but I thought I thought it'd be close. I just don't think the Steelers can muster up that much offense.
Wow.
You know, and I thought even if they win, it's going to be close.
Jacobs, right? They were out without their running back.
Yes, and that to your point, I mean, we got to talk about the Raiders and Derek Carr because we've been hard on John Gruden, and it's nothing personal.
And rightfully so.
Not that we don't like him, right? I don't even know. I've never met him. Have you met Gruden?
No.
Yeah, we've never met him. I was actually a fan of his QB coach, QB couch, QB camp, whatever it was called, that he would do with the quarterbacks in the draft. I thought that was good stuff. I like him as a commentator, so I like all that. But, Rob, we keep it real. And his record, I mean, it's his fourth year now with the Raiders. He was given his contract as if he's Bill Belichick.
Unprecedented
10 years,
contract.
Yeah, $100 million guaranteed. I mean, and we were like, look, you got to show and prove. And so far, so good. Now, remember, last year, of course, they started 6-3. Which is a good record.
And if you remember, they beat Kansas City in the first half. Remember? Everybody
beat New Orleans, won at Cleveland. Like, they had some good wins. So you had to be thinking, we know Rob G, super producer Rob G, big Raiders fan. You know, Rob, he was thinking he was on to something. And obviously it came crashing down in the second half of the season. So it's early. But, Rob, the first thing I'm going to say, then I'm going to turn it over to you. I'll be quick about this. Derek Carr, and it's 2 games. All right. It could be completely different, you know, in 2 weeks. Because last year, first half of the season, we know who was the MVP, Rob. It was Russell Wilson, right? He was cooking.
And, boy, did that ship sink.
Right.
I mean, he
didn't even end up getting a vote, you know.
Which is crazy, Chris. If you would go back and talk about the first 4 or 5 weeks, for sure he was getting
votes. And even, I think, a little longer. It was about 7.
Was it that
8 weeks,
okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, he was cooking. And Derek Carr, though, Rob, is in the hunt. He's in the hunt right now. They're 2-0. They've got 2 great wins. There might not be a team with 2 better wins. I'm not saying they definitely have the best wins because I haven't really looked at, off the top of my head.
But to beat the Ravens, and even though, right, they beat the Ravens at home.
And the Steelers.
In overtime in a game that they shouldn't have won. Remember, Lamar turned the ball over twice, Chris, and they got the win.
They capitalized. Right.
Yes.
So they have 2 great wins, and Carr, Robbie, leads the league in passing yardage. He's been tremendous.
Speaking of that, how did Matthew Stafford look yesterday? Was he the best quarterback we've ever seen?
No.
Okay. Okay.
He looked good. He was fine.
No,
you know
I'm not saying, but
the
height, it came down
Bring
a
people
notch.
down to earth. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Bring people, look, relax, all right, as Aaron Rodgers might say. We got a while. And maybe you could say that to me about Derek Carr. But so far, he looks very good. Rob, I thought yesterday, you mentioned it, they go in there, 3 of their starting offensive linemen are injured. So they got 3 backups on the O-line. You mentioned Josh Jacobs, the stud second-year running back. He's out. Rob, they averaged 2 yards a carry, 2.1 yards a carry. And still against one of the best defenses in the league, and still Derek Carr is able to carve him up. He threw a tremendous pass to Henry Ruggs and 61-yard bomb that hit Ruggs. I mean, he didn't have to break stride, not by a centimeter. And so Derek Carr right now
cutting the Ruggs. Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. Okay.
No,
well, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Cut the Rugs? Okay.
Took a sec.
So are they real? I mean.
Are they Chris, you remember the old
chase,
days when we used to do the first take? You remember? Are they bologna or filet? Do you remember that? We used to do those topics?
Yes.
I think they're filet. I think they're filet.
You picked them to make the playoffs.
I did this year. Remember I said, I think this is it.
I think that was a good pick.
Yeah, because they, like we talked about, started off the year last year with some impressive wins, and then they just collapsed in the second half. these 2 wins, I'm with you. I haven't checked the schedule to see if there's somebody else who's 2-0 that maybe won more impressive game. But to beat the Ravens in overtime in a game they shouldn't have won, I always love teams that win games, Chris, they're not supposed to, because that's a sign of a good team. Like, we didn't play great, but we took advantage and we won. And then to go into Pittsburgh without your star running back, thinking, this is going to be a struggle, right? And what'd you say? They're offensive linemen too, right?
3 offensive linemen out. Yep.
Right. So you're like, this is going to be a tough battle. And look at what Pittsburgh's defense did to the Bills, who were clowning everybody last year, right?
Yep.
Throwing the ball around the yard like it was lunchtime. Like that's how they played. And to shut them down after they were up 10-0 in that game and win that easily after that, and then to back it up with that win after the first game of the year, I just like what they're doing. I think John Gruden understands, like, this is 4 years in. I know he has a 10-year contract. He's not sweating bullets.
Right.
Because he's going to get that money regardless, Chris. But there comes a time when you got to ante up. And I'm talking about players. I'm talking about John Gruden. And
Mike
we should bring
Mayock would be the one anteing up.
Well, he's the one who's going to be his heads on the chopping block.
If something happens, right.
But we should also, before Chris, you jump in, I think let's add Rob G to this conversation. Oh, I forgot. He's not here. Because he's the biggest Raider guy going. Rob, you could text
He's
me some
excited. He's
information.
hyped.
But you got to be pumped about where your Raiders are. And, Chris, where are you? Is this bologna or filet?
Look, we know our picks. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs. I'm going to stick with that. But I can't call them bologna. At this point, you'd be crazy to call them bologna. At this juncture, they beat the Ravens, who just beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Steelers, who beat the Bills. So you have to give them love. If I have to choose one, I'd go filet.
Right now.
Right now.
We're talking about right now.
They look like filet. Here's the thing, Rob. Their division, I don't know how many people were thinking this going into the year, but so far, the AFC West is tough. We know Kansas City is what it is. The Chargers, pretty good. I know they lost yesterday to Dallas. They have to be more disciplined because they blew that game to Dallas. As much as you might want to give Dak Prescott props, and look, he got to win. You get breaks.
Right.
Everybody gets breaks,
But
right?
you're right, Chris. What did they do? They
two penalties that
one.
Literally, right?
They brought back 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns came
These
back.
weren't penalties that took you out of field goal range.
No, they were touchdowns that you had on the board that came back.
You had scored, yes. So they blew that game. They got to be more disciplined, but they got a nice football team. And then Denver, Rob, a lot of people thought, watch out for Denver. And Teddy Bridgewater is a little like I think he's better. I don't know where you are on this, but we talked about Tyrod Taylor, and he's solid. He's a little more than a backup and a little less than a franchise quarterback, right? Tyrod Taylor. And Teddy Bridgewater is in that vein, but I think Teddy's a little better than Tyrod.
I agree.
Right? So
Teddy had something going in Minnesota.
Yep.
Before he got seriously hurt. You remember that team was pretty good.
Remember, guys were crying when he got injured because, he was there. He was a great leader there, and he had, like you said, they had something going.
Chris,
so
can
now
I give you the stat real quick?
Let
me just give you this. Let me give you the stat on Teddy Bridgewater real quick. The win Sunday, Broncos quarterback Teddy Bridgewater becomes the 4th player in NFL history to open a season with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 75% completions, right? Minimum of 12 attempts in each of the first 2 games. Guess who? You ready for the other 3 quarterbacks?
Wait, so he's the 4th so just 2 touchdowns?
Touchdowns, no picks, and 75, right, and 75% completion. That's the key number.
Wow, yeah, right. Because that
2 touchdowns, not that.
Them like that, right?
Right, 75%. Okay. Right. Bridgewater.
Let me guess.
Okay, yeah.
3.
You got 2 you will know, and 1 you're not gonna remember. He was really good, hit and miss.
Way back in the day.
Nah, in the 90s. It just you
right.
might not be thinking about him.
I'm gonna say Mahomes is 1. Is that
Nope.
right? No. Rodgers.
Yep. 2015.
90s.
No. Get the other guy. The other guy in the 2000s. You got Rodgers.
Tannehill. That's a
Nope.
that's a out of the box one.
You ready? Take one more guess.
Mahomes, Rodgers.
Just retired.
Who just retired?